My condolences and my prayers and my thoughts go out to everyone who's ever been a victim of gun violence. And please know that our hearts are with you. And yesterday we had one of these meetings, a press conference, and when we got done, Nancy Pelosi and I spoke about it, and we both agreed. We don't agree on everything all the time, but we certainly agree on what a tough road it is if you're the victim or you're a family member of a victim of gun violence. And being parents and grandparents ourselves, it's unimaginable for me. So for those of you who are here from that universe of people, it has to be extremely difficult, and an extra thank you and more appreciation for you. It's incredibly important that we get this done, and it's in large part because of your participation that we're going to be successful. Second, thank you for allowing me to join you, inviting me to join you. But in all honesty, I've got to tell you, I wish I wasn't here. I wish I wasn't here, and I wish there wasn't a need to work so hard and so long on legislation that just is absolutely common sense. There is no reason in the world that an individual purchasing a firearm from someone that they don't know, someone that doesn't know them, should not be required to go through a background check. Everybody will tell you they don't believe criminals should have firearms. Everybody will tell you that they don't believe that the dangerously mentally ill should have firearms. Everybody will tell you they don't believe terrorists should have firearms. And I agree with them. But if you don't do a background check, how do you know those aren't the people that are buying firearms? Now, like the good colonel, I'm a gun owner. I've been a gun owner most of my life. I hunt, I own guns. I will always own guns. And I'm strongly in support of the Second Amendment. Strongly in support of the Second Amendment. And if you're a law-abiding and you're individual, you're not a terrorist and you're not mentally dangerous, I think you should have a gun if you want a gun. I have no problem with that. But if you fall in that other category, I don't think you should. And that's why I'm the author, along with Pete King from New York, of the background check bill. And in addition to being a gun owner, I'm also a parent and a grandparent. And I want to make sure that my kids are safe, one of which is a deputy sheriff, and I certainly don't want him to be harmed when he's out trying to keep the peace. And my grandchildren, my three granddaughters, I want them and all of their friends and all of you and all of your friends to be able to grow up in a safe community. And background checks will do it. It's the first line of defense. Will it solve everything? No, and everybody knows that. But it is, in fact, our first line of defense. And if you don't do background checks, you can't do that initial check to make sure that criminals and the dangerously mentally ill don't get guns. And we know it works. We know that last year, 88,000 individuals tried to buy guns from a licensed dealer, went through the background check, and were denied. It works. It worked 88,000 times last year. And for those who claim it's a terrible inconvenience, I want to say just tough. Tough. But the reality is, it's not an inconvenience. I've purchased guns and gone through the background check. It's not going to stop anything. I'm from California, and the anti-background check people will tell you it's the toughest state in the nation to buy guns. And you have to go through a background check when you buy a gun from a gun store, from a gun show, through an advertised sale, or from your next door neighbor. Everybody has to undergo a background check, and it hasn't been prohibitive. We sold over 600,000 guns legally in California last year. So anyone who tells you this is going to stop legal people from purchasing guns, they're just mistaken. We got a bill. It's got 186 co-authors, as you've heard. Sadly, only 3 of those are from the majority side of the aisle, and we need to change that. We need to make sure that we get everybody on this bill. We get it up for a vote. If it came up for a vote, it would pass. So you guys need to get out, tell your friends, tell your members of Congress, tell your neighbors. Everybody needs to call your member of Congress so we can get this thing done. And one last thing. If the majority party that won't bring this bill to the floor for a vote, if they've got a better idea, then doggone it, bring that to a vote. We need to make sure criminals don't get guns. We need to make sure that dangerously mentally ill don't get guns. It's a huge lift. It's something we have to do to make sure we have safe communities. And thank you very much for your work to making sure that that happens.